All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Rocky Top Insider Reaction Show. That is Ryan Schumpert from the Food City Center. I'm Rick Butler here at the home base in Knoxville, breaking down Tennessee basketball's win over North Florida on Wednesday night, moving to 3-0 on the season. Ryan, the Volunteers pick up a 99-66 win over the Ospreys at home. We'll get into some of the players who might have stuffed the stat sheet, certainly some impressive numbers on the box score. But let's kind of just talk about the beginning of this game, how it flowed into the second half. Obviously, it wasn't the cleanest start for Tennessee. A little bit sloppy at times, starting the game off with some turnovers. Credit to North Florida for being able to hit down some threes. The Ospreys also, took a pretty good swing at Tennessee in the rebounding category as well. I believe there was a point there in the first half where it was around 30, something along those lines. From that point on, those teams were trading punches, but from that point on, it was pretty much all Tennessee, from there. Tell me about what you saw from this game and just sort of how it unfolded in your eyes.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Tennessee comes out slow, a little bit sloppy. Really, the first couple minutes on the offensive end, but the bulk of the first half of the first half, it was on the defensive end with just some breakdowns and some bad defensive rebounding. But I think it was Tennessee was up 32-30 coming out of the under 8 timeout, which was like right around 6 minutes, so it was a pretty late one. Nate Ament was shooting free throws, and maybe three free throws coming out of it, and it sparked a 15-0 run for Tennessee. And I thought it was clear the defensive intensity was much higher after that point. I think Tennessee forced 3 straight turnovers on those possessions, so took control of the game there. Still probably at times and early in the second half would have liked to see them be a little bit more crisp too. But overall, did what I needed to do and coasted to an easy victory.
Yeah, and I'm sure Rick Barnes had plenty to say there in the first half during the timeouts, talking to the players on the bench or whenever they were coming off the court. And I'm sure a lot of that was about what you said right there. Defensive pressure and rebounding. Tennessee got that together. And again, you give a little bit of credit to North Florida. They were able to knock down some threes, and you could tell that that's kind of the game plan that they wanted to make this game. An up-tempo game. They were able to shoot threes. Some of those long rebounds were going to the guards. But you could tell that Tennessee kind of flipped a switch there later in the first half, able to get some things done. And then again, credit to Tennessee this time for being able to close down the first half with like a 7-minute scoreless run, on the North Florida offense. North Florida could not get anything going. Like you said, that builds into about a 15-0 run for Tennessee to take into halftime. And then from there, it was much of the same for the second half. And like you said, Tennessee was able to cruise to the victory.
No doubt. And I think just from a individual performance standpoint, I think you start with 4 guys that either had double-doubles or flirted with them. JP Estrella, another big game. He's making life tough on us. A writer's trying to post a story at the buzzer as he gets a rebound in the final 2 seconds of the game. But another strong performance, 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 rebounds, excuse me. But again, he kind of sparked the offense in the first half when Tennessee was a little stagnant. Extremely efficient, 11 of 14. And then Nate Ament continues. It feels like he's flirting with double-doubles, 19, 9, and 5 tonight. Jacoby Gillespie got a shot going in the second half, goes for 21 and 7. So, and then Cade Phillips, too. It's what he's going to do from like an offensive standpoint is at least this season not ever going to be too crazy. But I think he's just played really, really good basketball for Tennessee this season and early on this season. And certainly that continued with a 9.9 rebound performance.
Yeah, JP Estrella, you can just tell that he's really emerging and he's really finding his game after missing most of last season. I believe only played in 3 games. And I think it was a joke maybe going back 2 games ago. I can't really remember which game that was, but somebody had asked him in the post-game press conference, hey, is a lot of that work around the paint, that's what you were doing on the scooter in practice or before games or obviously while he was injured last year. And I think he joked that, he had plenty of time to work on those shots. And you really see that coming to fruition, whether it be catching a ball in the paint with his back towards the basket and being able to make a move right there, but also the offensive rebounding, I think has definitely been noticeable. He's not afraid to get his nose in there. He's not afraid to get a little bit dirty in the paint and be able to go back for either a second chance point or a put back basket, something along those lines. But he, to me, is giving Tennessee a huge spark. We know the big names like Jacoby Gillespie. Obviously, Nate Ament is turning into a household name with the 5-star freshman status. But JP Estrella is a welcomed return and somebody who we absolutely thought was going to be able to help this team this year and starting to show that here early in the season.
Yeah, it's almost he's been so good in these first 3 games that it's fully just graduated to wanting to see him against better competition, wanting to see him against teams that are going to have more guys with comparable size, which, anybody has success early in the season against a team, teams of this caliber, you're going to say that. But I think it speaks to how good JP's been that we're so quickly to the point of just wanting to see him against that level of competition, because he's been really, really good. Again, tonight steps out and knocks down a three-pointer. You talked about it. He's been better on the glass than I expected. And, Rick Barnes said he needed him to be a little bit better on the defensive glass. Obviously, he's been exceptional on the offensive glass. And I will say, let's see, I pull it back up. I closed it out just a second ago because I'm lagging a little bit trying to get the connection good. Here, as I sit on 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, November 12th, Tennessee, first in the country in offensive rebound percentage at 53.1%. So we thought that would be an area that Tennessee would be really good. Obviously, it's not going to continue at 50% as they play bigger teams and better teams, but we thought that was a strength, and it looks like it, or it has been to this point in the season.
Yeah, and again, I think that also speaks to the depth that Tennessee has down low with their big men. I mean, they mentioned on the TV broadcast, Ryan, I know you didn't get to hear that being at the game and all, but sort of talking about that depth and how with some of these guys you feel like are going to be a mainstay in the rotation, with obviously a Felix Okpara, a Cade Phillips, and JP Estrella, but between guys like Jalen Carey, between guys like Dwayne Brown, maybe who has the hot hand for that game, but I think that Tennessee does have some depth pieces to be able to go and just kind of muck things up down low in the paint and really kind of get that rebounding status. It is pretty incredible to think that, for a decent little stretch of the beginning of the game, I won't overinflate things and make it sound like it was the entire first half, but again, North Florida is out rebounding Tennessee. I can't remember the margin, but the game ends with a rebounding advantage 52-24 in Tennessee's favor. Tennessee just started dominating on the glass, and you really felt like that was a big help to get that win. Another big help to get the win, I thought it was a little bit of a coming out party for Amaree Abram, as his teammates know him as Mo. Scores 9 points a game, 3 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 from behind the arc. Had a wide open three that obviously got a hit, and he was able to do so. Had a really nice, I believe it was a reverse layup underneath the basket there in the first half, but just felt more comfortable, I think, than any other game that we've seen him so far in a Tennessee uniform. And that is interesting with Bishop Boswell being out tonight. He looked like the best two guard at Tennessee spot.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess that leads me into, the lineup being some wrap-up points. But Ethan Berg gets to start with Bishop Boswell sidelined with a right foot injury. Ethan Berg doesn't play very well. Right from the jump, has a couple of turnovers, plays just 4 minutes in the first half. Troy Henderson, the first shooting guard off the bench. And Troy was fine tonight. I think scored 3 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 14 minutes. So he was fine, but not great. And yeah, Amaree Abram was definitely his best game, and you're right. He was Tennessee's best two guard tonight. I thought the 3 steals, was the big thing that stood out. He sparked some stuff on the defensive end, and he's good enough, talented enough offensively to give him a little bit there too. So that was a very good sign for him, I thought. And Tennessee needs consistency from him, but a good showing. And then I guess the last thing just on that front, and you're talking about it a little bit with some of the guys, but Jalen Carey doesn't come in until about 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Dwayne Brown in before him. He quickly got 2 fouls, played 2 minutes in the first half, and then he played a little bit more in the second half, but again, came in later in the second half after all those guys. And, he did some good things, I thought, in the second half, cleaned up some trash, rebounded well, but certainly notable. And Rick Barnes asked about it after the game, just said simply as we're going to go with who practices better. So felt, at least to a little bit of extent, that the message was being sent Carey tonight.
No doubt about it. And again, this, a reaction where it hardly feels like we've talked about Nate Amint at all, but 19 points for him. Goes 6 of 9 from the free throw line. He had the most attempts, I believe, in the game, certainly for Tennessee's side. Yes, that is correct. And then, like you had alluded to, almost gets a double-double there with 9 rebounds as well. Ryan, what is next for this Tennessee basketball team? I saw you tweeting about it a little bit. It's a familiar face, I believe, who returns to Knoxville, is it not?
It is, yeah. Rob Lanier, who was on Rick's staff the first, I want to say 4 years maybe, here at Tennessee, associate head coach. He's at Rice, and he brings of the bye games Tennessee has on the schedule, it should be the most difficult one on Monday night. So that's what's up next for the Vols, and will be interesting to see if the team that could probably make Tennessee pay a little bit more if they don't come out a little bit more intensity and a little more crisp than they have early in the season.
Not only is that going to be a night game, 9 p.m. tip-off, so make sure to have a little bit of coffee if you're staying up on a Monday night to watch. But it's also now the second time that Tennessee basketball has interfered with my Dallas Cowboys Monday Night Football on a Monday night game. I don't know what's up with that, but maybe you and I are going to be fighting over iPad viewing privileges if there's any other good college basketball games on again. So certainly some things to look forward to for Tennessee, getting close to being done with this bye game schedule, BUY. And then there's a lot of competition that is set to follow here. So a lot of fun things coming up for Tennessee basketball, but advances to 3-0 on the year with this win over North Florida. Go ahead. Last word of the night.
Okay, two quick things, actually. One, I'll hit basketball related first. Tennessee, Nate Amend's taken 26 free throws this year. The rest of Tennessee's team has taken 32. So that's going to just be interesting to watch the percentage of free throws that he takes, because it's going to be a very, very hefty margin.
North Florida, I thought his coach had a great line for him, called him a matchup nightmare, did he not?
Yes, he did. So, he continues to do that at a high level, getting the free throw line. And then on the Cowboys aspect, did y'all just go Monday Night Football, bye week Monday Night Football?
Yes, we did.
That's very strange.
And the Cowboys always have that weird Thursday night stretch around Thanksgiving because things have to be so odd there. So it is Dallas playing on a lot of odd nights for such a mid team, I guess, right now. But that is how things work. But yeah, it's gonna be strange to be watching that again on a Monday night at a Tennessee basketball game.
Well, the Titans are so unimportant and bad that I don't know if you saw this today. The Titans won't even be on in Knoxville this week. They're not on in Knoxville or in Memphis. Luckily, I don't know, it's really lucky. I have the Sunday ticket, so I'll be able to watch them, which I guess is probably more of a bad thing than a good thing. But I would probably have some faux outrage if I didn't and I wasn't able to watch them.
There you go. That's good. I meant to send that to you, so I'm glad you saw it on your own. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us here on the RTI Reaction Show. Again, number 20, Tennessee picks up a 99-66 win over North Florida in the Chaz Lanier Classic from the Food City Center on Wednesday night in Knoxville. That is Ryan Schumpert. You can go and follow all of his work at rshump00 and at RockyTopInsider.com. I am Rick Butler. Hey, go check out our recording of the press pass earlier today with Ryan Sylvia. That was a good one, breaking down a little bit of Tennessee football schedule. But that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Tennessee gets a win, improves to 3-0. This has been the RTI Reaction Show.